This video is on cholesterol. I've done this video before, but I've just done 5 videos on the cortisol DHEA ratio, how it affects the brain, the stomach, inflammation, immune system, and fat storage, the pancreas fat storage. And so I get questions when I do these videos. What about this? What about that? And one of the things was about cholesterol. So I've done this video before, and I'm going to do a similar one. I'm going to do this again. It's going to be just a quick, short video. When we talk about cholesterol, first of all, the liver manufactures 80% of our cholesterol. About 20% comes from the diet. So a lot of people don't understand that. If you eat less cholesterol, the liver will manufacture more cholesterol. When cholesterol is really high, we have to do something about that. Now, when we look at cardiovascular disease, which they like to say cholesterol causes cardiovascular disease, that's not quite accurate when we look at the science. I always look at the science, not the chiropractic science, not the medical science, the actual science that's coming out of, it's still medical science, but the actual science that's coming out in the journals. And so we know that cardiovascular disease, 3 things increase cardiovascular disease, primarily insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and inflammation. So those are the 3 things that we got to look for when we talk about cardiovascular disease. Of course, we do heart sound recording, apply the proper nutrition to the heart. So that's a whole different animal, but we do love to do that and love the results that we get. Also, increased stress will increase insulin, and that, cities that have big stress events, they've actually seen more cardiovascular disease when stress is increased. So we're always dealing with the adrenal glands, the stress gland, and we give in a lot of people nutritional support for the adrenal glands so they can handle stress better, because stress is a killer for many reasons. Now, here's the liver. Made it green because of bile. The bile is green coming through. There's the liver, drains into the gallbladder here, and that drains into the small intestine. The liver is where the cholesterol is made. So 80% of cholesterol is made in the liver. So when we look at cholesterol, so we have cholesterol, and let's say we have a cholesterol level of just say 200. So we look at the ratios when we look at cholesterol. Is the liver functioning and doing what it should be doing with cholesterol? So triglycerides should be 50% of cholesterol. We don't just look at this number and say, well, it's high, it's low. And we certainly don't want it too low. If you look at my video on the adrenal cortical pathway, you'll see that from cholesterol comes all your sex hormones: testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, DHEA, androstenedione. They all come from cholesterol. So we can't have this number too low. I see patients with cholesterol as low as in the 120s sometimes. That's way too low. You're not going to make your hormones right. Not going to make your hormones correctly. So if we have a 200 cholesterol, we want this to be 50%. I just picked 200 to make it easy. So that would be 100. 50% of cholesterol, we should have our triglycerides. Triglycerides is stored fat. How much fat's stored in the body? So we see patients with 450 triglycerides, and we need to get them down to 50% of what this is. Sometimes their cholesterol will be 200, but their triglycerides will be 450. Totally the opposite way. If it's 200, we just want it at 100. So then we got HDL. That's what they call the good cholesterol. First of all, HDL is not cholesterol. HDL is a carrier protein. It carries cholesterol. So HDL carries, and we like to have that high, but HDL carries cholesterol back to the liver. LDL takes it away from the liver to where it needs to go. Let's say there's a tear in the artery. LDL will carry cholesterol to repair that tear in the artery, and then HDL will bring it back. Now, what's the other thing about LDL? Number one, it should be about 100 less than cholesterol. So when these two are just 100 because I chose 200. If I chose 190, these two numbers would be different. What's the other thing about LDL? It's not cholesterol. It's another carrier protein that carries that away from the liver. L, it leaves the liver. H, it comes back home to the liver. LDL takes it from the liver to wherever it's going. HDL brings it back. So it's not cholesterol. This is how we can get so messed up with the education we get from commercials. You know, if your cholesterol, if your LDL, your bad cholesterol is high, there's not such a thing as bad cholesterol. That's cholesterol. That's a carrier protein. Now, we certainly don't want this too high. We know if this is too high, there's a fire burning somewhere in the body, and so we need more of the LDL to carry it to the fire. It's kind of like a little fire engine. It takes it there. VLDL is high. When you see triglycerides high, VLDL would be high. It's what? Not cholesterol. So all these guys aren't cholesterol here that we're told are cholesterol. This is another carrier protein that deals with and carries triglycerides. So that's the true story on cholesterol. And this is straight by the science. Everything I do goes right by the science. We never vary from the science. It's never a theory. If it's a theory, I say it's a theory. We always stay with the science. So with our cholesterol, we don't want to get it too low. We like it 180 to 220. Functional medicine, that's where we like it, 180 to 220. Mine runs a little higher. Mine runs around 230. So and that's fine. I'm making all my steroid hormones. I'm doing good. Now, before I end this, I am not telling you to go off a medication because of cholesterol or anything. That has to be discussed with your doctor. I'm giving you the science on cholesterol. And I deal with this every week. High cholesterol, low cholesterol. When there's low cholesterol, we got to get the body functioning. Because if a cholesterol is below 140, by the way, it's not called an omnibus sign, and we have to look at other problems that might be going on. So that's the story on cholesterol. If you have any questions, 314-843-9355. Until next time, reclaim your health, reclaim your life.